It's the animal you'd expect to have the greatest protection. But since laws were introduced to stop extinctions, things have got worse for the koala. It's repeatedly been listed as vulnerable.
Species like the koala, which obviously is world renowned, lost 1 million hectares of habitat since 1999, since the Act was enforced. That's nearly 2 million soccer fields lost in that time.
It was the Howard government that implemented the Environment Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act in 1999.
The major cause of species loss is habitat loss. If we can preserve and restore habitat, then we have a better chance of preserving species. It's as simple as that, and that's what we're aiming to do.
That law is now being reviewed, with Prime Minister Scott Morrison calling for environmental regulations to be cut. The Act requires that some property developments, mines and clearing for farms be assessed by the Environment Department. The department then advises the Minister on whether to approve the action. But it's not working. The habitats of endangered species are being destroyed and the species are disappearing.
Australia is a global leader on the extinction of mammals. We are 4th in the world for the extinction of all biodiversity. So we hold some very damning global titles.
In fact, since the laws were created in 1999, 7.7 million hectares of habitat for threatened species have been lost, an area larger than Tasmania.
If we lose another 7.7 million hectares of threatened species habitat, we will have literally sleptwalked into an enormous species extinction. Probably half the species on the Endangered Species Act would disappear forever.
Conservationists complain it's not illegal to push an animal to extinction, so long as the Environment Minister approves the action.
We have seen examples where the department has made recommendations to try and protect species, to try and protect internationally listed wetlands, and the Minister has disregarded that advice.
In addition, the laws are not being applied broadly enough. Of all the habitats for threatened species cleared, only 7% were assessed under the Act. In 20 years, there have only been a handful of prosecutions for clearing without permission. It's like the police not enforcing road rules.
If you can imagine a situation where, we've got very strict road rules, and yet you're told by the police that they won't be enforcing it, and even if they caught you, they wouldn't fine you or do anything about it, most people would probably ignore those road rules. But that's exactly what's happening with the EPBC Act.
Farmers also say the laws aren't working.
This Act actually looks at environmental protection, where we think it needs to look at, encouraging sustainability, encouraging biodiversity and providing farmers with incentives to continue to manage the land.
The government admits the need for change, with Environment Minister Susan Lee saying the only thing environment groups and proponents of major projects agree on is the need for improvements in the Act. What's at stake here is a matter of life and death for animals like the koala.